Welcome to Palette of Talents, where we dive in the world of creativity. I'm Sara Al Alamiri. In this episode, we're going to talk about the amazing Lamel Jalal with her pottery. Let's go and see how she used her pottery with love and creativity. Lama, tell me, when did you start? Like, in which age did you start?
I started probably when I was 18, I think.
And why did you start out? Like, have you ever felt like there's a connection between you and the pottery?
Well, if you ask my parents, they would always say that I was kind of like the most like creative kid. Like I'd always be working on something. Like I've delved into so many artistic passions. Like I've done painting, photography, and sculpting, just so many things. I try to get my hands on as many creative hobbies that I can because they all eventually merge into one. Like even with my degree, like I'm a graphic designer, and I find that some of my graphic design works like merges into my clay too. So I feel like it's all just like one big jumbled mess.
Wow. Yeah, this is amazing. Like,
yeah.
You are like one artist, a hand artist.
Sure, yeah.
Like your hands in different ways.
100%, yeah.
Do you remember your first pottery you did for it?
And the first one, I think it was like a little ashtray that had eyes in it, and I posted it on TikTok, and that one just like blew up. And I was like, okay, maybe I can make something out of this.
And then you started like...
And then I started making stuff out of that.
Do you sell your stuff, or do you
Yes, I do. I'm going to be participating in Route Market this Saturday, and everything's going to be on sale. And I find that whenever I try to make things, I make things with people in mind.
Okay.
And I try to keep the user in mind. So especially with, let's say, these pots or these cups, the way I made them was just literally indentations of my hand into the clay.
Wow, can I see that?
Yes, of course. Pushing in and out, and if you hold it, you'd see that it's really comfortable to hold and almost like hug with your hands.
It is very artistic. And it's very nice.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
But yeah, I like to keep things more.
Usually supports you.
A lot of people. I've like grown a big international kind of I wouldn't call it fan base, but like market. So they like little like bespoke things.
But like the first person who told you like, go ahead, Lama, you can do this. You're amazing. You're an artist.
Well, of course, my parents.
Yeah,
yes. They're both really supportive. And both my parents, although they wouldn't consider themselves artists, I like to call them artists because my dad can draw a really good fish and my mom can draw a really good tree. So that's all they can do. Yeah. And they're artists to me, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Really amazing. And that's one of your best?
Yes. One of them ones I'm most proud of, so I'd like to say.
Yeah. And do you have like a name for it?
Yes, they're called the morph cups. Morph cups, because they are kind of like morphing and almost like melting into your hands.
Yeah, and you can put like, see your thumb everywhere.
Exactly.
So that's amazing, you know. You gotta take one of these. Lama, tell me a great advice to anyone who is using or trying to do a portrait.
My number one advice would be to always ask for help, even if you're like a type of person who doesn't really ask for help and doesn't like wants to be independent and does everything on their own. Pottery is a very collaborative effort. It's a hobby where you connect with people. It's a hobby where you join communities. It's a hobby where you meet people and you share your shared joy and love for this type of craft. So always ask for help, look for new experiences, and don't be afraid to try new things.
Amazing. So it's not really hard to do something. Even if you don't know, you could ask people or ask the person who actually knows about it. Lama, how do you deal with a creative block?
That's a really good question. So I went through a creative block for around like 2 years, where anything I wanted to create, or anything that I was motivated to do, anything that I was inspired by just felt so uninspiring and so boring and so like I just didn't want to do anything anymore because I didn't appreciate the skills that I had garnered, and I didn't appreciate. I just didn't want to do anything. So my way to overcome a creative block is to just ride it out. Is to just be uninspired until you are inspired again.
So that's how you deal with it.
That's how I deal with
It's amazing how you deal with it. Like, not everyone actually knows how to deal with
it.
this.
Yeah. It's a really hard thing to
And it's
overcome.
a very nice key, you know, for other people
Yeah.
to get over, or like how to manage the block, you know? That's amazing. And how do you actually, like, when you start thinking of doing now, like you want to do it right now, what the first thing comes in your head?
Excitement, I guess, because I get filled this like fire inside of me. I'm like, if I don't do this now, I'm going to die, you know, like, or I'm gonna forget it, you know.
That's like,
yeah,
it's very deep, girl.
I know.
It's very
but
deep.
that's how like fiery it is, and how like excited I get about doing.
Like, most people actually go to art or in all general of art or music when they're like mad or angry.
Yeah.
But you're excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
So mostly when you're happy.
Exactly. Yeah. Or even when I'm stressed out and I want to like clear my mind, and I know I've been like going through some things that are just like piling all over me, I just make a shape that I know I'm good at making. I make a mug, and then at the end I feel like it's almost as if I've journaled, you know. I feel relaxed and relieved.
Like, I see lots of movies when they get mad, they just, you know,
Yeah.
throw the pottery.
Yeah.
And right, have you ever went through it?
Oh, 100%. Anytime I make a mug and it doesn't turn out the way I want it to be, I just take it and crumple it up into my hands, and then I deal with it. You know?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thanks.
Lema, I'm so glad to be here with you.
I'm so glad to have you.
Oh, thank you. And I heard that you're doing this fascinating clay, like pottery in clay.
Yes.
So tell me, how did you first start?
Well, I started during COVID, as many other potters, and I started by posting a video of these two little like clay men that I made out of air dry clay, because I wanted to make like a birthday gift for my friends. So I had this extra clay on the side, and I posted a TikTok video, and it got like 2,000 likes, and I was like, I'm famous, you know?
Wow, like lots of people really like that. Okay, but
yeah.
like when you do that, do you start like planning how you're gonna do the clay, or do you let the clay like guide you?
Mostly I let the clay guide me, really, because the clay, it has a mind of its own, and even if I have a plan and I want to do it and I have everything meticulously planned out, when I start executing it, it like falls apart, or it's nothing that I wanted. And yeah, I would say I'd let the clay.
Like, so mostly it guides you.
Yes, 100%.
You never planned?
I plan, and then the plan doesn't go according to plan.
So then the clay really wants to guide you. Yes. Okay, I got that. And
yes.
Have you ever like have any problems? Like, did you have ever like face any problem by doing the clay?
I guess when I first started, there wasn't a big pottery community in Kuwait, especially.
Okay.
And anytime I try to find resources or anything, like what type of clay to use or what type of glaze to use with which clay, I wouldn't know what I was doing. So I just kind of like winged it in the beginning until I found, so just like trial and error, I guess.
Only that.
Yeah.
Like, even like anyone could like do with clay pottery, like they do it by clay, it doesn't affect their like skin or something?
I mean, if you have eczema, but yeah. I think for the majority of people, clay really helps them soothe their brain and their mind. It really helps them calm down. And whenever I'm teaching my classes, I tell them the specific sentence that a wandering mind leads to a wandering pot. Which means whenever you're working on the wheel, if you're not 100% fully focused on the clay, then the pot or whatever type of shape you want to make isn't either. So it's going to be wobbling all over the place. So it's a very like in tune kind of act.
You gotta be like, like really focusing.
100%, yeah. And I sometimes get to the stage where I'm focusing so much that I enter this zone where my hands are working and my mind is thinking about 100 other things, but I can't stop working. So it's this weird like twilight zone where I like just I'm doing so many things that I'm focusing but not focusing at the same time.
But you feel like really relieved when you do.
100%.
When you work on the clay.
Yes, yes.
So that's a very good thing for you guys if you have any like stress or something like playing with the clay, but don't play. Try to do a pottery.
Or just playing is good too.
Yeah. You can do that too.
Yeah, 100%.
So this is the end of our episode for today, and be with us for the next episode. We're gonna amaze you with more creativity.